By the end of this video, you are going to be able to write a great kissing scene. How to write a kissing scene is split into 2 parts. Because there was too much information for one video, it is important that you remember a few things mentioned in the first one, such as the beginning, middle, end part. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to the previous one. This video will be linked in the description below and should be popping up on the cards. Now please enjoy. When you are doing your whole kissing scene, like the actual writing, don't forget about your 5 senses, because those are very important. And think about what actually physically happens and what you actually feel during a kiss. Don't go kiss someone to find out, because if you're really thinking about the physical stuff of the kiss, then it's probably not a good kiss. Kind of part of it is the fact that you can't think straight. And so some physical things that happen, I'm reading these because there's a lot. Is it soft or hard? Is it slobbery or dry? What are the other body parts doing? Your hands, your voice. Sometimes people giggle, and so you need to think about that. Are they sitting or are they standing? That's going to affect some things. Do not give a play-by-play of this, because as I said, if you really just go all physical, meaning erotica, you might want to do that, but I teach young adult fiction. For young adult fiction, you're not going to want just regular young adult fiction. You're not going to want to give a play-by-play, because realistically, you're going to bore your reader. It could be inappropriate to where you're no longer fit in the young adult. And you're going to also tell the readers that your character doesn't like it at all. And just because they don't like it, even if they don't like it, don't give a play-by-play. Still put some emotion in there of the fact that they don't like it. Physical reactions of kissing involves heart rate, blushing, your breathing changes. Sometimes you're smiling, grunting, giggling. This kind of depends on your personality. If you're kind of more of a shyer type, you might not make any noise at all. Some emotions, you need to talk about the internal stuff and what they're thinking, and think about what they want. And so that's going to help with how to describe their emotions. What are they wanting now? Do they want to get closer? Do they want it to stop? What do they want? Maybe, I know for females, I can't say this for males, I'm a female myself, you might even start realizing that you really like this person, and you might even go as far to what you want in the future that has nothing to do with the kiss. So like, I want to have kids with this person now, or something. That could be something you could mention in your novel. I don't recommend that in the male's point of view, because I know some males, I know that my guy friends, I can't speak for all because I know there are some out there, but I know that my little group of guy friends, they don't care about the future at all, and they would be the ones being rough, things like that. So I'm just going off of my experience. Sorry if you guys are out there and you're like, wait a minute, I think about that. Cool. Let me know, because you're cool if you do that. So please let me know. I will give you a thumbs up and a heart. Okay, anyway. I wrote something really good in this script. You should quote me on it. Okay. When you are kissing someone, the memorable part is the emotion. If you are focused on the physical stuff 100% of the time, then it is a bad kiss. Yep. No one remembers all the physical stuff. I can't say what has happened physically in any of my kisses before, because that's not what I'm thinking about at all. So, yes. Remember that naturally and scientifically, you want to be close to them because of the love hormone. It's up there, oxy something. And then also, kissing gives addictive behavior, so you might not want to stop if you agree with it, because of dopamine, or another word that's popping up there. So those are actually the science of it, of what happens when you kiss. Now that big speech is over, the end of your book, well, it could be the end of your book, but I mean like the end of your kissing book thing, beginning, middle, okay. Anyway, this is the breakup part, or the reaction. This is important. If you want it to at all be realistic, This is important, okay? This is not the nitty-gritty stuff, but are they happy? Are they smiling? Do they hate it? Do they want nothing to do with each other anymore? Is it awkward? Every time I've had a first kiss with someone, anytime I've had a first kiss with someone, it was awkward. I wanted to see them, but I didn't. I was like, man, I wanted to be close to them, and I wanted to kiss them again, but I didn't want to. I was like, hide myself, kind of. Like, you can't see me. Like, I didn't want to look at them, like, because it never goes back after that. You never really see that person exactly the same way you did before you kiss. At least I've never heard of anyone doing that. There are people who can accomplish. Is it awkward? Is it happy? This is going to be based off the relationship, with which I told you in step 1 that you have to think about, because it changes everything. So, yeah. What do people actually do when they feel those feelings they're going to be feeling? Okay, if it's awkward, like most of the time it is, then what do people do when it's awkward? Well, they avoid that person. That's what I did. They blush when they are next to the person. When they are next to the person when it's awkward, they kind of have a hard time breathing. Or, like, not to where they pass out, at least. Maybe some might. But, like, after you're out of that situation, you're like, oh my gosh, I felt like I wasn't breathing that whole time. And flashback of actual memories. I have a really funny story about my current boyfriend. So anyway, if you want to know, you're going to have to wait until I get 100 subs and I do a Q&A. So, yep. Okay, so the next thing on my script tells me to yell, don't forget to like and subscribe. But the truth is that there's something underneath here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But the truth is that I haven't told you how to make a good metaphor yet. So we're going to do that now. Okay. I have a disclaimer. And I tried really hard. I came up with a formula on how to start your kissing scene. The 3 first sentences on what they need to be. Okay? But I could not come up with a formula for a metaphor. I looked everywhere for someone else to have one, and then they just led me to little kid websites and little kid videos, and I couldn't really find a whole lot. So I'm just going based off what I have read and what I have written, where I've gotten compliments from, and some other advice from some of my support groups for writers. And so, yeah, that's about it. I'm just going to basically give you some starters on where you can think of when you start your metaphors. You could come up with a great metaphor that is not at all in these pointers, just based off what I've read. 1, you need to read, because you need to see what has worked already. It obviously has worked. And don't just copy. There's nothing to be proud of if you do. But if you actually read what other people have, it does give you inspiration and some pointers on what has worked in the past. And so what people like already. So read that. 2nd, it's the pointer. If you can't come up with anything, here are some things you can think about. Think about the earth, the elements, things that occur in the earth, stuff. I'm talking fire. Fire's a big one. Water. Electricity. Electricity is a huge one that's used. Weather patterns like storms, rains, blizzards. Sometimes it's just a sunny, breezy day. I don't know. Weather patterns, plants, animals. These are some pointers. Another thing, if you can use it correctly, you have to use it correctly, otherwise it's going to be really bad. Food. You can use food because it really gives a good, if you can find a way to use food, it's really good, but it can very easily be misled. It's like very fragile. So don't go for that if you're not sure exactly on where it's going to go. And when I mean by food, I've heard of honey. That's where I really got it. Sweets. That's where I've seen sweets a few times. Okay, now here's my challenge, Big Red. Challenge! Do it! You can do it. If you can do my next challenge I'm about to have you do, you can do anything in writing. promise, okay? Because I haven't been able to do this, but I will, and I will do, I'm going to follow my own advice. So challenge, it's going to involve you typing words in the comments. So warning, if you can come up with a metaphor for emotion, that could be used in a kissing scene, using the food pizza, you better do it. Like, write a metaphor, and a metaphor is a comparison without like or as. If it's like or as, it's a simile. We're not talking about similes, we're talking about metaphors. So don't use like or as, but use pizza. You could say the sauce, the cheese, the pepperoni, I don't care. Pizza, and make it good. If you can do this, you can do anything. I promise, because I have not been able to do it yet, but I am participating, and so be watching that comments, be subscribing, be putting notifications on, because you will see this whenever I finally come up with one. I will be doing this myself too. So, yeah. So, comment below a good metaphor that could be used in a kissing scene that is romantic and shows emotion using pizza. You do that, you can do anything. No more self-doubt. If you still have self-doubt, go watch my self-doubt video. But like, you can do it. I promise you can do it if you can do this thing, because pizza's like, I don't know how to do pizza. Some of you would be like, done. Then you can do anything. So anyway, next. Okay, next, number three. Another pointer you can use is using nouns or events that typically trigger emotions. This could be parties. Fireworks is sometimes a big one. I have seen instruments. I think I've seen it once, but it was used very well. The author came up with a good way. I think it used flute. Instruments is a good way to incorporate personality. Like if your main character is a guitar player, they might compare their kiss to playing the guitar. And so that is a good way to interlink that, or dancing, whatever your character is into. So this is a good way to incorporate personality with nouns and events that they have experienced before. Sometimes I use like how bad I make my characters' lives. I say like how that goes away. And so that talks about events they've had before and how they like, life is perfect right now. I don't know why I get so upset, kind of deal. So think about nouns / events. If you can't find anything in the earth category, nouns and events. Okay, so those are my pointers on how to write metaphors and how to write kissing scenes, the main idea of this video. So don't forget to like and subscribe, of course, because that would make me happy. We're gonna go. So, bye. Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you for watching both of my videos on how to write a kissing scene. I hope you learned something new. Don't forget about my challenge. Anyone who completes the challenge will get a gold star in the comments. Also, tell me what you loved about my advice, and tell me what you thought was confusing. I am a resource for you, so ask away. Even if it has nothing to do with romance. I promise I will get back to you as soon as possible. Please share with your fellow writers, because this is an important topic for most writers. Authors ask about kissing scenes frequently in their support groups, so be the one to show them these videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that way you are the first to see new writing advice, business advice, and wellness advice. Thanks again. I already said that. Sorry I didn't have a Valentine's Day recipe for you. I had some stuff I had to do. And if you stay towards the end of this video, I will give you pointers on how to do something. Oh, on how to write those heart-melting metaphors. I can't say that word. To write those heart-melting metaphors. I had this trouble in the last clip. Dang it. Okay. So the title of this is play tennis. The title of this step is play tennis. So now just get to the intro while I read what I'll be teaching you. Busy Writer's Life intro. Okay. Okay. My face was so weird right there. Okay. By the end of this video, you are going to be blood. I'm pretty good at last ones. Okay.